Most video game movies suck.
We never got the Assassins, we never got the Creed, all we got was ass.
Aliens Predator ripoff movie based off a video game called Doom.
The people who made this movie, they had to put in a lot of hours, lose a lot of sleep, and just work their hearts out in order to fuck up this much.
It is basically a really long cutscene that reports like a barely better
Video game adaptations into mainstream media, whether it be movies or TV shows or cartoons or whatever, have a long history of just being bad. Usually what happens is some bigwig Hollywood executive catches a whiff of an established IP with a loyal fanbase. They take one quick glance and their eyes light up with dollar signs. Quality be damned, they just want to make a quick buck and they know that an existing IP will already have an established audience willing to watch. But recently, these movies have been trending upward. They've gone from absolute unwatchable piles of garbage to actually decent movies. And it all started with a 2018 adaptation of the Tomb Raider reboot. Let me show you what I mean. This is Lara's first kill in the 2013 game. Take a look. The game does an excellent job of driving home the emotional gravity of this scene. Now let's see how the movie approaches this. It's a very faithful adaptation of this scene. The movie's a little bit more subtle, but it hits the same emotional beats as the game. Now, the biggest downfall I've seen for most video game movies is that they try to deviate too much from the source material. See the Assassin's Creed movie, the Hitman movie, or any of the myriad of bad adaptations that are out there. Now, Tomb Raider is not guilt-free of this, but it succeeds where others fail. This bicycle chase scene through the streets of London that they place early in the movie, not only is it just extremely fun to watch, it's an excellent way to showcase Lara's skills, her adaptability, her ingenuity when it comes to unique situations. The key to successfully deviating from the source material is to create scenes that add context to the world and its characters, that are consistent with the internal logic of said world. If we're talking about adaptations that add to the source material, look no further than So What Do You Want? Talk about adding to the source material. Cyberpunk Edgerunners is one of my favorite anime to have come out in recent memory. It was so good, in fact, that it actually made me go back and pick up Cyberpunk 2077, a game that I had given up on 3 years ago. Everything you see in the anime can be visited in the game, from David's apartment to the place where the gang hangs out, to the place where David and Lucy have their first kiss, and so much more. Not only does Edgerunners manage to recreate Night City perfectly, I would argue that it actually breathes more life into the city. It makes Night City feel like a living, breathing place, full of people that come from different walks of life, go through different struggles, have different dreams, etc, etc. Edgerunners caused a massive influx of players, both old and new, to flock to the game, and it's an excellent demonstration of what a good adaptation can do for the source material. And now we get to why I decided to make this video. HBO's The Last of Us. By the time this video drops, episode 4 will already have come out, but I started working on this video after episode 3. And I felt compelled to make this video because it was such a good episode. Just 3 episodes in, a lot is different between the show and the game, but these are very welcome changes. Aside from episode 3, which we'll get to, my favorite scenes so far have been the flashback scenes at the beginning of episodes 1 and 2. These scenes create tension, they raise the stakes, they add context to the world in a much more engaging way than the games ever did. And then episode 3 takes us in an entirely different direction. We went from all this doom and gloom to this beautiful love story in a post-apocalyptic world. In the games, Joel doesn't even know who Frank is, but in the show, they're actually friends who have had multiple interactions. The only things that we really get to see about Frank in the games are his dead body and a suicide note that he left behind for Bill. The writers on the show took this suicide note and managed to create a fleshed out backstory for the two characters. Episode 3 is effectively a lens that shows what life would really be like in a post-apocalyptic world. It's not always going to be doom and gloom. Even if there's flesh-eating zombies out there ruining humanity, people will move on. They will get used to it, they'll adapt, and they'll seek to connect with other people. Frank and Bill's story is all about finding happiness in an unhappy world. It's about finding joy in the little things in life, like Frank wanting to take care of the neighborhood that they live in, or that goddamn strawberry scene. That was so beautiful. We stick with these characters right up until the end, and it gives us hope for a world that seems so hopeless. What The Last of Us and Cyberpunk Edgerunners and the Tomb Raider movie have proven is that video games are a goldmine for Hollywood to come in and adapt onto the big screen. Marvel's astronomical success has Hollywood studios running all over the place looking for things to adapt that will let them get a piece of the pie, and video games are ripe for the taking. As an avid consumer of both, I am very excited for what the future has to offer.
Alright, that's a go.
On second thought, never mind.